Why, hello everybody. Welcome back for another fantastic adventure here for game 2 of tonight's episode of Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time. I am the Dungeon Master that's not Pete, which makes me Jeremy. And I am joined by 4 beautiful, like extremely attractive guests who are going to be our other players tonight. So without further ado, let's go through and introduce everyone. We're going to start with Oldman McWizardface, our favorite forest gnome wizard. Welcome back, Oldman. How's your week being? How's Mira?
Hello, Jeremy. I've actually learned quite a few tricks since last time.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've learned that this world is, well, rather dangerous, not as safe as my dungeons.
Uh-huh. Wait, you live in very safe dungeons? You know, we've never talked about where you live, Oldman. Where do you live?
Well, I used to live in the basement of Noble McNobleface's castle.
I knew that much.
Now I live with Mira.
Does Mira also have dungeons?
Oh, no,
You know what?
no.
Oh, boy.
I meant at my old place.
Okay, well, I was gonna say I might have just asked a question I don't want the answer to.
I did learn plenty of new tricks. I picked up a new book that taught me them.
Oh, I mean, does a magician ever reveal his secrets, or am I allowed to like ask what your cool new tricks are?
Well,
Or are we gonna see them?
You will probably see them. I started reading this book, How Not to Die When Everything Wants You Dead.
Wow, that's an incredibly, I believe that's the second book of the Central City Times bestseller list right now. It's number 2 on the list, just behind How to Have a Soothing Voice. Both
Never heard of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
And in my other spare time, me and Mira have been working on turning Rip the Rude into Rip the Righteous.
Really? How is that? I know Rip the Rude's a little red dragon. So how has it been going?
It's not going very well.
Did you at least toilet train it, or is that not working out?
We're trying, okay? Give it some time.
Worst thing to come home to after day of adventuring. Oh, my dragon pooped in the living room. I love the idea. Oh, jeez. Anywho, welcome back, Oldman. It is great to have you, as always.
It's nice to be here.
Next, we have Astraea, our favorite human fighter. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, Jeremy.
Now, Astraea, I don't think you've been in any of my games yet, have you? If you have, it's been like 1. Right?
I can't recall. I've only been in 3 games.
I think they've pretty much all been. Well, Astraea, for those who may not be familiar, given that you've only been here for 3 weeks, can you tell the world a thing or two about Astraea?
Sure. Right now, I am on something of a pilgrimage. However, of course, I need funds for it because you can't travel on an empty purse. So at the moment, I am hiring myself out for odd jobs for this old kooky wizard named Bartholomew.
He's real weird.
Yeah, he is.
Like, I mean, I've been to a lot of crazy fantasy lands. I've never seen people selling money with their own face on it. You know, that's just strange. But
well, he has other oddities that I find weirder. But
what's the weirdest thing about Bartholomew?
I
It's
think
okay.
it would
Just make something up and it becomes canon now.
Yeah, I think it would have to be his. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about people behind their back, but it would probably have to be his sandals.
Oh, damn! Really throwing some. Wait! Oh my goodness! I'm just at a loss here. I'm so befuddled. That was a pretty serious burn. His sandals are lame, or are they just weird?
Well, it's more the fact that you can see his feet sometimes when his robes aren't covered, covering those things.
it's interesting. You see,
Yeah.
he's an old wizard with a huge beard, but when you see his feet, that's what really gives away how old he really is.
Oh yeah, those things are like tree rings. You can count the years.
Got the wrinkles, and that's how old he is. It's very old. Well, anyway, Astraea, I hope that this adventure or this job you've picked up will be beneficial for you. Pick up some extra cash along the way and help you in your great pilgrimage to find, I assume lost secrets or some sort of enlightenment.
Yes, some kind of enlightenment, something like that.
Very well. Well, welcome again. Next, we have Sarah Galanodel, our favorite half-aquatic elf. Actually, I think our only half-aquatic elf. Cleric. How are you doing, Sarah?
Oh, just coming back from years of therapy after an octopus crushed my skull in one bite.
Yeah, I mean, I heard about that. I mean, I was totally unrelated to it, but
Yeah, why don't you look at what you did? Why don't you look at my face? Why aren't you looking at me in the eyes?
I don't know. I mean, it's not the horrible scarring all across your face. Or
No,
anything.
it's not
No,
the giant
it's not
horrible
that.
scar that you put on my face.
I didn't do
No?
this. An alligator did. Wait, the giant octopus did it. Not me. But I digress. Sarah, so the therapy's been going well then. I've been murdered by an octopus therapy. It's a very specific field. You were able to find someone.
Yeah, actually, no. The only person that I could find was someone who did I've been murdered by Jeremy therapy.
Oh, there really aren't that many of those people.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there are way more I've been
It's
murdered
strange. There are way more of those, but there are still plenty of the other.
Well, Sarah, I'm sure this is going to be an excellent opportunity, this adventure, for you to come back with a vengeance and not get murdered by Jeremy,
Or maybe murder Jeremy.
Oh, I'll take your ominous threat as a yes. You're going to have a great time. Welcome back to DnDTime. And last but not least, our much more peaceful, probably the most peaceful character here, Dustu Galu, our
Hello.
cleric. How's the Earth Mother? I know she has many names, but
Yes, Terra is doing quite well. I must say, though, I am loving these new oven mitts that I receive.
You've been using them to bake some delicious baked goods?
Yes. Although a good side effect is the additional spell slot.
Yeah, well, that's unrelated, I'm sure. Have the cookies helped to ease the struggles of war that you have made your goal to fight against, or?
They have indeed. It turns out wars can be stopped with the help of freshly baked cookies.
Well, unfortunately, for you today, the conflict that's going to be happening here will not be able to be stopped by simply baking cookies, but they might help. You never know. So, Dustu, is there anything you want to talk to our friends, the audience, about before we jump into tonight's game?
Oh, yes. I recently found out about a book.
Oh, yeah?
It is written by... what's his name? Say Choggle?
I'm pretty sure.
Hammerfist?
Yeah, Choggle.
Choggle, oh my bad, of course. How not to die when everyone wants you dead. Interesting title.
Has it helped at all?
Well, I'm already... Well, actually, to be honest, I haven't been great at not dying recently, so I hope that it will help.
I see. Well, if it doesn't help, this is a really bad sign because 2 of the adventurers in this party have been reading this book. So, Chogal, Hammerfist, you better watch out. This adventure doesn't go well. It's going to be bad for your sales.
I don't know what you're talking about. From nowhere.
I digress. Anyway, let's just jump right into the adventure tonight since we're running a little behind time. Tonight, our adventure brings you to DnDTime's frontier, a lawless land of vigilante justice and cactuses and old westy stuff. You have made your way into the most prominent settlement, probably maybe the only permanent settlement of the frontier. There might be one or two others, but it's little known. The town of Green Meadows, where you have been requested. The people of Green Meadows have gotten a bunch of money together and called for your help in a dispute with some local kobolds. A local kobold tribe has moved into the outskirts of town, and there's kind of a land dispute going on between the kobolds and the townspeople over some very important oil wells. So you have just rolled in on the Central City Express, a big steam train, which I'm sure was a wonder for all of you to ride. And you've been dropped off here in Green Meadows. The train has left, and there are just a whole bunch of townspeople that are waiting there kind of in front of you, sort of waiting for you to engage. What would you all like to do? You see one man who looks very much like a sheriff, maybe. He's got like a big beige cowboy hat. He's got 2 hand crossbows holstered on his waist, on a very large leather belt. A massive bronze kind of belt buckle with the face of a bull on it, and he's a minotaur.
Excuse me, tall sir, do you have a glass of water? It's extremely hot here.
Oh. Well, howdy, partners. Welcome to Green Meadows. I am the deputy sheriff here. A glass of water, I suppose we could get you some water. There's not a surplus here. Would you be okay with cactus juice?
Sure, that's fine. Thank you.
Now, some people say they prefer the taste, and he just kind of goes on about how he doesn't like cactus juice for a little bit. One of the other townspeople comes over with a small glass filled with a slightly like reddish, like almost watermelon colored liquid, and hands it to you. It's slightly warm to the touch.
Ew.
So y'all are Bartholomew's adventurers here to assist us with our trouble. Oh, my apologies. And he kind of does a little nod of his hat toward y'all, and says, I meant no disrespect, not greeting you all proper.
We don't have any other names as is.
And Oldman tips a fake hat that does not exist.
Excellent. Yeah, Oldman, you're forcing him. This guy's huge. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's very tall. And he kind of looks between all of you. So,
I am 6 foot, so I'm almost this height.
Well, with the horns, he's over 7, but the horns don't count.
That's cheating.
And he says, I assume y'all have been appraised of the situation with the Kobold King, great King Kobold.
I'll look back to the others. We have, haven't we?
A little bit. What do you need oil for exactly?
Well, we sell it to the Trigger Gnomes, and I don't know what they do with it. I think they must use it in some way in their fancy city.
Oh, I think they use it for dragon suits.
Or oil-based wrestling matches.
That is a very strange... Anywho, essentially, we have come into this border dispute, and per tradition, we are going to settle the score with great King Kobold this evening at dusk.
By killing them all.
No, tradition would state that for border disputes, we
Kill them all.
No, it's a race. We have to race them. You can kill them during the race, but...
So it's genocide. We're killing an entire race.
No, I believe he means a foot race.
My words around in different parts of my sentence.
You are a very dark person.
Miss.
I was killed by an octopus.
Doesn't excuse any.
Well, I
And
warn-
she kind of like brushes her bangs from across her face, and you can see this giant like triangle scar that goes from the middle of her forehead down to her nose, and then it goes down across her cheek.
Can I draw you?
Excellent. You see the Minotaur like, ugh, kind of grimacing, like, oh, that's Jeremy's work. Anywho, yes. So, in essence, we don't know a lot about racing. It was more of a way to bring pleasure and enjoyment to such a dispute as tedious as land. But regardless, you'll need to beat them this evening. It's on the salt flats just west of town. You'll be racing down the flats into Blackstone Gulch.
Is this a foot race?
Well, you can use whatever you have, but you do need to be physically moving. No fancy pants magic.
So what you're saying is I could slide down on my shell.
Well, it's perfectly flat, but if you can slide perfectly flat on your shell, that's fine.
Well, I thought you said it went downward.
Well, it goes down a little bit once you get into Blackstone Gulch.
Ugh.
First party to exit the gulch is the winner. Do you think y'all can do this?
I suppose we've got no choice.
I'm not much of a runner, but I have tricks up my sleeve.
Contrary to what my image might predict, I am quite the runner myself.
Well, you don't need to run if you don't want. Anything at our town is at your disposal. Please, whatever you might need to build a wagon or a cart or anything you think would help your chances, please feel free to help yourself.
How quickly do you run?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, my speed is about, well, it was 30 in my better days, but it's down to around 25 feet now. He says, kind of patting his slightly round stomach.
Just as good as me. Can I ride you?
I mean, if is necessary, we have horses. If maybe,
I
Yes,
suppose.
we'll take 2 horses and we'll gather materials for a wagon.
very well. Please, if you need anything, just help yourself. No one here is gonna bother you. As we really
They better not.
I want to go around looking for some, like, I don't know, like gunpowder, maybe.
So actually, this is what I was gonna ask you guys. You're in a stereotypical Wild West town, and you can just take whatever you want to build your war wagon for this quick race. I'm gonna give you guys like 15 minutes. What do you want?
Gunpowder.
Just gunpowder. Yeah, you can find some. They're small little flagons of gunpowder. They stand maybe they're like little wooden barrels. I don't remember
It's
them.
still
It's
D&D time though. So are there mounted like shotguns?
Not here.
Can we
Not
make
here.
makeshift mounted shotguns?
You might have been able to find like weird stuff like that back in Central City.
How
but
about
out
like
here-
crossbows then?
Yeah, they got plenty of crossbows.
Mounted crossbows?
They have some mounted crossbows. There's some like crappy towers out in the outskirts that are kind of watchtowers, and there are a few mounted crossbows up there.
Is
You can just
there
go
a
take 'em.
giant lizard I could ride instead of a horse?
They do have a couple giant lizards, actually. Yeah, giant lizards are a little slower than horses, but they fare off-road way better. It's like giant lizards got the 4-wheel drive, where the horses only got still have 4 legs. But
When you say giant lizard, does that include dinosaur?
no, they don't have dinosaurs.
So,
They're literally
real
like
quickly,
giant geckos.
amongst the party, does anyone have the soldier background or land vehicle proficiency?
No, I am a far traveler.
No,
I'm also a far traveler.
I am a scholar.
Okay,
But-
so
It's fine. I'm really good at survival. I'm going to make like a makeshift. How would you put gunpowder? Basically, gunpowder nos.
I think the turtle cleric should do animal handling checks to steer the cart, and then we should have 2 people on the mounted crossbows, and then I'll do my spell casting shit.
I'm gonna want a lasso. Actually.
You want a lasso? Okay.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we can find a rope.
I will go into a tavern and pick up some alcohol.
I've got a tinderbox and stuff that I can light gunpowder with. I would like a couple. How many gunpowder barrels could be found?
You found 1 cask of gunpowder. I guess they must have recently done some mining and they used most of what they had. Maybe they're waiting on a shipment from Central City. Oldman, what kind of? They only really have liquor here. Is that cool? They don't. Really
I was hoping for Molotovs.
Yeah, I mean you can make some Molotovs. Oh,
and
God.
some for me.
All right. Well, okay. So how much liquor do you take? How many bottles? You can. They have so many. That's the one thing I'm not going to bother to roll on. Actually, you know what? I will. I'll roll. All right. They have 90 bottles, but in the town of various liquors.
Well,
I'd say grab 20.
Cool. This is what you're at right now.
I would also like possibly some. Do they have paper, which I can make paper bombs out of?
Yeah. Paper bombs. So to tie the gunpowder up, and you don't have a ton of gunpowder.
Well, exactly. I don't have a ton of gunpowder, so I'd rather not waste the entire barrel on one.
Well, you were saying if you could make gunpowder nos for your. They have some oil.
Oh, well, that's perfect. I will then use that to whip up gunpowder nos, make the cart go faster.
So are these giant geckos basically horse stats?
They're like draft horses, but they suffer no penalties for difficult terrain, and they can walk they have spider climb basically.
Hey, that's
they can't go totally vertical, but they can go on the sides of things very well.
Well, if we're going to be making wagons, we might as well have scythed chariots.
But you said that this place was pretty flat, that there isn't any difficult terrain, right?
I like your thinking, old man.
We're going to the gulch. And just because the salt flat's flat, but it does have some areas where stuff is broken up and there are cactuses and things. So there's some difficult terrain, but it is relatively flat. All right, so we got this is what I have right now: 5 giant geckos, 1 cask of gunpowder, 4 mounted crossbows. You did well on the mounted crossbows. 20 barrels of liquid. I meant to say liquor. 20 bottles of liquor and 1 barrel of oil. So, Dustu, you were saying you wanted to mix the oil and the gunpowder to try and make basically a
napalm.
I mean, what are you
It's not. It's basically going to speed up the cart.
Okay, so you just want to attach this barrel to the back and cut an opening in the back and try and make a jet booster.
Yes.
Okay, a one-time jet. Are you guys all okay with this use of?
No.
I don't see how this can go wrong at all. Astraea's on board.
So we got 1 vote in favor, 1 against. Oldman, are you okay with that?
I think the oil would be better poured out behind us than lit on fire.
Well, there's the thing about it. When it's being spilled out, there's bound to be some oil and gunpowder that spills out of the canister.
I would rather keep the gunpowder away from the cart.
It's 2 versus 2.
We're also
Have it to be thrown a la grenade.
Maybe instead we can make some dwarven oil. Actually, it's more like Roman oil, but dwarven for this sense.
So you make mullet. Basically, you're just gonna make some napalm out of this instead.
Yes, but it's like Roman oil where it doesn't just go out by water.
Okay, sure. Gunpowder and napalm. All right. So
also, may possibly be explosive, so because gunpowder.
Yeah, who knows, right? Shrug emoji. All right. Is there anything else you guys want? You're kind of. It's getting late. You start seeing the sun
and a cart, right?
Yes, we must make a cart with scythed wheels.
What kind of are you looking for?
Spikes on the side.
They have caltrops, right?
Well, I mean, not really.
What?
They don't have a lot of use for them. They're very practical people out there.
Okay, ball bearings.
Yeah, they got plenty of ball bearings.
Don't worry, and Oldman McWizardface uses what's it called? Minor
we'll get a-
graduation and creates some glowing caltrops.
We'll do 2 burlap sacks of ball bearings then.
Okay. All right, you got 2 not ball bearings.
What would it be possible to tie some of the bearings to some rope and basically make like a bola?
They're like marbles, right?
Yeah,
They're tiny.
Definitely.
Well, I would like to make large bolas that could trap wheels in them.
I'm sure we could find some
Or
rocks
horse
and
legs,
some
for
rope.
instance.
Okay.
Well, that's
so
what I
here's-
was thinking for the mounted crossbows, is they're kind of like shooting bigger crossbow bolts.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
We could
so
tie the bolas to it and...
Okay. Alrighty. So, question with the wagon. What kind of wagon are you guys going for? You're going for like a big Conestoga wagon with the white tanned leather like top to it, or an open top wagon? Are you going for just like a tiny little like wheelbarrow that you're all just gonna pile in and try and go fast and give less weight?
It's like a hay cart. Like that's all we can
Oh, okay.
find.
Yeah,
It's
like an
this-
open-
this-
I was
Big
kind of hoping
cart.
for the full Ben-Hur thing, since we have like 5 geckos
Yeah.
to pull a
Okay.
chariot.
Well,
But
I mean, you don't have to use all 5. You can have people on the geckos instead of the cart. I mean, that's a totally an option for you guys. Okay. So you got a hay cart or hay wagon.
Yeah.
And so the liquor, Oldman McWizardface, can you roll me? What kind of check do you think that you'd need to make to create Molotov cocktails with your liquor?
Survival or insight or something like that.
I'll throw an insight.
Maybe a medicine.
Can I medicine some Molotov cocktails?
I'm not sure medicine's the check to make.
It's
Convince
Survival seems like
I mean,
the
because
most.
medicine can be
I mean, I could-
concocting an elixir.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I could see medicine. I could probably also see just a straight intelligence roll.
Can it be Arcana?
I'm gonna try to Molotov 10 of them, and he can Molotov the other 10.
Oh, that's
But I'm
not a
gonna try
terrible
medicine.
idea. Okay, so I think Shiba, you can try and use your Arcana, but you're gonna have disadvantage on your roll because it's just really
Then I'll
weird.
just go with intelligence.
Okay, just regular.
23 for
damn.
medicine.
So, yeah, you guys actually managed to only screw up one of them. You have 19 Molotov cocktails. All right, so this is where I'm at right now.
Actually, I would like 18 Molotov cocktails and drink a bottle myself.
Okay, done. You have 18
So that's what it was.
Molotovs.
Maybe we have
and-
19 because he drank that 20.
Yeah.
I think he got 18. That other one, like, it just he dropped it. Or someone dropped it. So the hay wagon, you wanted to put blades on the wheels?
Scythes! You know, there's spikes on the sides, so you run into them!
I think this might be Astraea's kind of wheelhouse here, right? Because Astraea, you're a fighter. You know how to use weapons. No
There-
one else here
Yes.
knows quite as intimately as you.
Their
Well, I'm simple and martial.
wheelhouse.
I'm a cleric, so I actually am good with weapons.
Okay, so yeah, do you want to help Astraea?
I will help.
And then Astraea, what do you think you need to roll for something like this? What kind of skill do you think is most appropriate?
for building a spiked wheel,
Yeah, for just like tying blades and stuff onto the wheels. It's like stick out the sides.
probably say intelligence.
Okay, cool. Sure, yeah, so you can roll with advantage because Dustu is gonna help you out here.
War is my specialty. War carts, also a good thing for me.
They're your
All right, 15.
wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yes, they are my wheelhouse. Very good pun there. I appreciate it.
So bladed wheels. All right. This is where you're at right now, and we are at the end of the day. As you look around, the sun sets just barely in the distance. The world is now covered in a dim light as a bright full moon rises above. You make your way west with all of the townspeople to the outskirts of town, led by the Minotaur deputy sheriff. Says, "Y'all ready? This is
Can we just intimidate them with this amazing card?
Yeah, I mean, damn, that's pretty crazy. I didn't know we had half that stuff here in town. Is there any reason you kept the hay on it?
Oh, cushions, of course.
Ah, very well. And you've all made your way out to the outskirts of town. You step, and as you step across the cracked, salty ground, it fractures and breaks beneath your feet, leaving behind a fine white dust and broken shards of salt.
My, I need to lose some weight.
Except for you, Oldman. They don't break under your feet. Maybe like the first one. Nothing grows out here. There are no cactuses at this point. And as you look around, you can see that there's a huge series of poles set every 1,000 feet, which show the general path just out into the bleak, kind of hazy, darkening horizon. You also see a large posse of kobolds. They have all sorts of different wagons that they've built and set up, and they're ready to go. Their wagons look just as ramshackled and crappy as yours. And they've put together a solid, like, maybe 6 wagons for this adventure. You see one that looks like it's a canoe. Where they got a canoe, you're not sure. It doesn't have any wheels, and it just has a lizard strapped to the front to pull it. You see one kobold inside is just kind of like, he's like stretching, and he's raring to go. He's got a short bow in his hands, which he's like flexing, and the string breaks, and he just kind of throws it aside, takes out a little sling and starts spinning it around. You see several other kobolds with shields that are each riding individual lizard mounts. You see a big group of maybe like 30 kobolds on this huge wooden wagon. There's a big pile of rocks on the middle of it, and it's being pulled by maybe a dozen of these lizard gecko guys. And you see the most important kobold that all the other kobolds are looking to. He is an absolutely enormously fat kobold. He is actually a large creature, despite the fact that he's clearly a kobold. He has this tiny little golden crown on his head, and he sits in a wheelbarrow, just a straight up wheelbarrow.
Is this old King Kobold?
This must be Great King Kobold. He's got these tiny little leathery wings that pop out of his back, and you can see that attached to the front of his wheelbarrow isn't like geckos or horses. It's in fact just a line of kobolds that just kind of go out.
Nice.
And as you all approach, and the sheriff kind of nods and says some words to Great King Kobold, and the kobolds all say, kind of chant, "Oh, Great King Kobold! No man should be so bold to challenge you in such a race."
I am no man. I am a turtle.
I'm not a man. I'm a woman.
The
Same.
kobolds look disgruntledly at you. Technicalities. He shouldn't. They all point at Oldman.
I'm sorry, I was drawing the gecko.
You got like a half-finished gecko sketch. It's an excellent sketch. And the Minotaur says, "Let's hold up, fellas. It's going to be a good, clean, violent race. So if you're all ready," he kind of looks toward the kobolds, and they're like, "Yeah! Whoa, whoa, Great King Kobold!" And they kind of he looks toward you. You all ready for this race?
One moment, I'm almost done.
Very well, we can wait one moment. A moment passes. All righty, ready now?
Yes, look how beautiful it is.
All right. And you all kind of gather around. You're ready for this race. The sun is is pretty much totally set on the horizon now, and only the bright shining light of the moon is above, with all the stars in the sky visible. No light pollution out here. And all of the people that have gathered from Green Meadows begin to chant, "Race, race, race, race." And the Minotaur looks to you all and says, "Alrighty, on your marks, get set,
Should we roll initiative?
go!"
Hiya!
And you start to just rocket out of the gate. The kobolds at wildly different speeds. You can see that the king kobold is like hardly moving as all the little kobolds are like like struggling to get it going because he's very large. And yes, at this point, I'm going to need y'all to roll for initiative. As the sound of the crowd begins to fade away, you quickly rocket out from the gates. Alrighty. And I'm just going to roll once for the kobolds. We're going to roll, oh, Great King Kobold for all the kobolds. Oh, Great King oh, what? We should have put him in public. There we go. Got a 1. All right.
Good.
Accurate.
So I think all of you guys are going first. So we got Oldman, we've got Astraea. Can't spell. We got Sarah, we got Dustu, and then we got the kobolds. All right. So do you guys have a list of all your equipment?
Yes,
we do.
All right, you know generally what you got. Okay.
Do you want to make a handout?
I think that'll just take way more time than it's worth, but I'm just gonna toss it here for now, and I'll repaste it if you guys have any questions. So yeah, you're rolling along. What do you guys do as you take off from the lead? You can see that the closest kobold. Did the music just stop for anyone else?
No.
Nope.
All right, roll 20. Being weird, huh?
Oh, it's back.
Oh, it's not back for me.
Never stopped for me.
I've never had that issue before. Whatever. Anywho, so yeah, you guys take off. The closest kobolds to you are a bunch of the kobolds on their lizard mounts. What would you like to do? Oh, that's
First things first. I go towards the back. First of all, who is driving and who is going first again?
Oldman.
Oldman.
First.
Yeah, Oldman, you're the first to go. What would you like to do?
These are simply mounted on geckos and nothing more.
Yeah, they look like they're just mounted on geckos. They have like shields and spears, and they're riding, and they look like they're getting ready to start chucking stuff at you.
I'm sorry, geckos, but here's some caltrops for you. As Oldman tosses some caltrops in front of the geckos.
You conjure your caltrops, and they scatter all over the ground. The geckos are going to roll a dexterity saving throw. Okay, all right, 14. I think the DC is 10 for those, but they're still going to take damage, right? How do caltrops work? Should have checked that out. I'll just say so. What happens?
DC 15 dexterity saving throw.
Oh no shit! Wow.
Or stop moving and take 1 piercing damage.
Okay, so of the 3 that are chasing you, okay, 2 of them manage to keep rolling, but one of them just gets caught up on the caltrops and flips around and crashes into the ground, a big cloud of dust. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Oldman?
I'm sorry.
Oh,
that would be it.
Okay. Astraea, as you look behind you, 2 more of these lizard-mounted kobolds continue to chase. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna lasso one of them. Try and drive it into the bladed wheel.
Oh god. Okay, so you're like, as they get close, you try and lasso it with your lasso. Awesome. Can you give me? I think that'd be like a contested strength athletics. Makes the most sense.
All right.
These are the tougher kobolds, so we're gonna roll their strength. Wow. Okay, so just barely. What happens is you throw the lasso out and it wraps around them. But they just have a very hard. You have a hard time like pulling him off, right? He's tougher than you thought, stronger than you believed. And though he's all tangled up in the rope, you're just kind of connected about 10 feet away as he's riding beside your wagon. Anything else you'd like to do, Astraea?
Well, since I wasn't able to pull him over, can I use the rope to swing over to the rider?
Yeah, if you want, you can try and jump over and jump onto his lizard. That would probably require another strength athletics check. I suppose you could use acrobatics if you wanted. It's hard because you're both moving really quickly.
Yeah, athletics is fine.
Okay, 18. Yeah, no problem. You leap across and jump. You're now on the back of the lizard with this kobold. The lizard doesn't seem to care. It just seems to be running directly forward. Like the kobold's not steering it.
All right.
Sarah, it's your turn. What would you like to do as you see Astraea has leapt from the wagon over onto one of the kobolds?
I assume that since this is just the start of the race, there's like 2 of these mounted kobolds who are within 5 feet of each other.
No, probably not. It's a fairly large race area. They're obviously within 5 feet of their mounts.
Is there any 2 things that are within 5 feet of each other other than like kobold on mount?
Kobold and Astraea. But yeah, not right now. You can see like in the distance there are more coming. There definitely will be that. But it's just these guys were kind of lone riders almost. Trying to jump ahead and take you out.
Can I target a vehicle with a spell?
Sure if you want. What would you
Okay.
like to do?
So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to cast the cantrip Chill Touch.
Okay.
And that's going to link to the canoe and the kobold inside of that shitty canoe.
Oh, he's still further back. He hasn't got up yet.
Oh, I don't care. I don't like that canoe kobold.
What the fuck?
Fuck that guy.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll me your chill touch. You have advantage. He doesn't see you.
Yeah, and before we do that, I'm also going to just link this into the chat so you know exactly what I'm doing. Amulet of the Inferno. So, does a 17 hit the canoe?
Yeah, the 17 will hit the canoe. Oh,
Okay,
boy.
so that's 9 fire damage.
Okay, so your chill touch, your icy grasp appears, but it's not icy. Instead, it glows the bright hot flame that strikes.
These are flaming skeletal hands.
Hot damn! And is that also attacking the kobold? This is a necromancer
Yes.
creature, correct?
So they are both 9 damaged, both.
Alrighty. You see the kobold kind of pass out and his canoe set on fire. The lizard's continuing to drag him forward. Is there anything else you'd like?
But the canoe is on fire, right?
Yeah, it's on fire now.
Okay. I'll move up to... Actually, I'm gonna go prone inside of the cart so that
you
range
duck
attacks
down on
have
the side.
disadvantage.
Awesome. Cool. Dustu, what would you like to do?
So am I the one that's driving this cart?
Right now, no one is, and the lizards are just running straight forward. It's like this is what they do.
So what I'm going to do is, as my movement, I'm going to be, actually, would it be movement that counts as steering the cart, or is it just an action?
I think it's movement unless you're trying to do something fancy.
So like a dodge maneuver or something like that would be an action.
Yeah, a dodge maneuver would definitely be an action.
So
But just kind of like steering it to the side, you're fine.
In that case, I'm going to use my action to take one of those Molotov cocktails and chuck it at the
Just one?
Well, it's the closest one. We got 18 of them.
Okay, so you're just gonna take one of them, light it on fire, and throw it at the lizard? I assume it's the one that Astraea's not also on.
Yeah, it's the one that Astraea is not on.
Just a quick question for
Specifically.
the GM. Are these
Yeah, what's up?
Molotov cocktails light weapons?
I think they would be considered light weapons. I think
you could dual wield
a Molotov
these.
cocktail if
You
you want.
But I'm gonna do
double
that.
fist them. Double fist them.
2 of them.
2 flaming bottles of liquor fly off at the kobold. He's gonna roll a dexterity saving throw against each of them. So he's gonna roll. Oh, I gotta roll that public. Damn. So he gets a 10. So he's gonna fail, and then he's gonna fail again. I think we're looking like a DC 13 for these. And he just gets splashed with flaming alcohol. Let's see how his lizard does. Oh, his lizard's great. The
His lizard's fine.
Goes away. The lizard actually kicks him off, and he just goes. Ah! He's still tethered.
Good job,
to
lizard.
it by the strap, like by the harness and everything. So he's just getting dragged around behind. The lizard kind of starts to veer. As this now flaming kobold just. Ah! Can you roll me 2d6?
Okay.
He's
I have
gonna
10
take
damage.
Fire damage. Wow. All right. He might have just died. You're not sure. Oh wait, no. These are these kobolds. Yeah, no, he's still alive. He's just on fire. Yeah, he's screaming. And it's the kobold's turn. He's going
My movement action, of course, is going to be steering. So.
Yeah, no problem. He is going to like climb up and try and pull himself back onto his wagon. He fails. So he is still getting like dragged by. He can't pull. I'm not wagon, but he can't jump back onto his lizard.
Would he be taking damage from dragging on the ground?
Yeah. He's gonna grab his spear because he still has spear. He's just gonna throw it at you, Dustu.
What
I think he has disadvantage.
Yeah, I mean, I figured that's possibly what it is.
He gets an 18. What, 18 misses because you're a turtle.
Yeah.
Facing the other direction.
La 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 la. Don't even notice it.
Yeah, excellent. Up ahead, behind you, you can see that there's a flaming canoe beginning to catch up to you, and you can see the gargantuan wagon with the big pile of rocks is starting to catch up too. And you can see about 6 flying kobolds take off from it. They have little tiny leathery kobold dragon wings, and they're each carrying big rocks and beginning to fly toward you, like they're gonna drop the rocks on you. And Oldman, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Shoot them down!
How many are flying around?
There are 6 of them, and they're about 60 feet away.
How far are they between each other?
You can probably catch 2 within 5. What's your radius? I'll tell you how many you can catch within your radius.
20.
Oh, a 20-foot radius?
Yes.
Oh shit! You can catch like 4 or 5 probably 5 of them. That's a huge radius.
Let's hope for the best.
Oh jeez, what are you doing?
God dang it!
Nothing. That's what you're doing.
The
Nothing.
curse of roll 20.
Old man McWizardface starts speaking gibberish.
He starts speaking
Old man
kobold.
starts drunkenly ranting.
Oh boy.
Then
Oh no. Okay, so let's see how many of them black out. So if they fall asleep, they're gonna just fall to the ground and get run over by their own wagon.
And they'll drop the rocks. Does that damage the wagon?
I don't think it does. Let's see how many you get down with that. Oh no. Wow, one of them had a ton of health. 17 hit points with the sleep. Gonna be
yes, it starts from the lowest.
fall out of the sky. And you see the wagon like jostle. They don't get up though.
Ugh.
They just get left in the dust.
Ugh.
Oh,
It hurt.
as you put them to sleep. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Old man grabs one of the Molotov cocktails, takes out the cloth, and takes a swig.
I'll give it to the free action, no problem.
Those are supposed to be for them to chew on fire, not alcohol.
It's wonderful. I deserve it.
Astraea,
Yes.
you're on that mount with you're on the lizard with the kobolds. What would you like to do?
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is try to shove him off the lizard.
Okay. So that would be a contested strength athletics if you just want to shove.
Yep.
So he's not very good at that. Well, I mean, he's not terrible, but like,
Nope.
But apparently Ive is.
Ooh.
Yep.
yeah, unfortunately, you go to shove him and it just doesn't work. He just won't move. I forgot to take his turn last turn, so I guess he spent his turn just really keeping himself on there real good.
He was surprised. It was my surprise round.
Exactly. Would you like to do anything with your bonus action?
Yes, I would. I would like to action surge
Oh shit. Okay.
and attempt to smash him in the head with my war pick.
Oh God. Okay. Go ahead and make an attack. He really can't use his shield at this angle, so his AC is effectively lower right now.
There we go.
You nail him with that war pick. He's still up. He's definitely a lot tougher than your average Kobold, but damn, that was a brutal.
All right. In that case, since he's still up, I'm going to use goading attack.
Oh, what's that do? Superiority die. Oh, right, I love this. So he takes 6 more damage.
Yeah.
I think he's still up. Yeah, he's still up.
That would be 19 damage.
Yep.
Damn.
He's bloodied at that. He's at half health or below half health. But,
It also has to make a DC 30 wisdom save.
well,
Yeah.
he's very wise. I
No, he's
lied.
not.
He wasn't actually wise.
So he has disadvantage.
Attacks against any other creature. Okay, cool. So he's got to go after you. Awesome. Is that the end of your turn, Astraea?
I guess so, yeah.
Awesome. So you.
I don't
you
have
try and
control
shove
of the
him
mount
off.
yet.
Yeah, you try and shove him off, and he just won't go. So you take out your war pick and just bonk, and he just is not liking it. Sarah, what would you like to do?
You said there's still 3 flying. Are any of them within 5 feet?
Yeah, 2 of them are definitely within 5 feet of each other. Absolutely.
Bam.
All right, you throw out a chilling touch at these 2 winged kobolds. Unfortunately, you miss. That 11 will not quite catch him.
Okay, that's my turn.
Okay, cool. Dustu.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Back to that, Sarah.
That's not Dustu. Oh, hey, how's it going?
I didn't get up.
Okay, you just stayed on the ground. Okay.
In that case, the swivel mounted crossbows.
Oh, okay, you take one of the mounted crossbows and take aim.
Can I put a Molotov in the mounted crossbow?
You can try. You don't know what'll happen, but you can try.
Can I tie it to one of the
your
bolts?
eyebrows?
Yeah, I mean, that's how you'd have to do it, right? You'd have to tie
Yes.
it to one of the big bolts.
All right, let's see if this works. I'm aiming towards. I mean, one of the kobolds. Hopefully, it hits multiple.
One of the one in the sky, one of the flying ones.
Yeah,
Aim at the big cart.
I mean, I could. You know what? Yeah, I'm going for the cart. These guys can take care of the little ones. I hope.
All right, can you roll me d20? Actually, just roll me 2 because you're rolling with disadvantage, as it is so off balance by the Molotov. The AC you're aiming for, I believe, is 14, and you have a +4 to hit with these mounted crossbows.
I think
that'll
those both hit. So
yeah, so it boom, goes wide and splashes down onto the big wagon. Can you roll me a d6? And we're gonna see what happens with that.
a 5.
5. All right. So the whole wagon begins to immolate. It sets on fire.
Yes.
And you see 3 of the winged kobolds that were still on there waiting to take off just to die. They get blasted with this wave of fire and go down.
Perfect! And I did not even have to use my guided strike.
The oh geez, I forgot about that. The kobold on the that's being dragged by the lizard, he burns to death. He takes 2 more d6 damage, which can't not kill him.
Let's just see how badly he's immolated. Another 10.
Jeez, you good at those. Stop rolling.
I
Someone
can't.
else do it.
I'm sorry.
The kobold on the wagon with you, Astraea, tries to stab at you twice with his spear. I don't think either of those are going to hit. And the 3 flying kobolds get over to your wagon, and they are going to drop rocks on Sarah, Oldman, and Dustu. So this is against you, Sarah, which actually should be
Disadvantage.
disadvantage. So 12.
Miss.
Dustu, a 22 against you.
Oh.
A big rock hits you on the head. And Oldman, an 8, I think, misses you.
Oh, the turtle gets hit. I see how it is. That's racist, kobolds.
It's kind of like, yeah, you take that. And you can.
How big are these rocks, by the way?
They're like basketball sized. They're big rocks.
So I could
hurt.
throw them back at them?
As an improvised weapon, you could. You're not proficient with rocks like they are.
Oh.
Yeah, a heavy crossbow might be better.
Yeah, probably
Yes.
way better. You can see, however, there's another one of actually another two of the winged kobolds taking off. One of them's on fire. The other one doesn't seem to be on fire. The one that's not on fire is carrying another kobold under it, and they appear to be abandoning ship for the big wagon. And you can see the canoe very quickly catch up to you all. It's like only 20 feet behind as the gecko is running super fast because of all the fire. Inside of the canoe, although the kobold is dead, there's just a big pile of different like things in it, right? There's a big flask cask of what's probably gunpowder, a whole bunch of different bottles, all sorts of stuff. There's like a little red stick of dynamite, maybe? It's
Oh no.
You don't know, you might not know what that is, but
Guys, I would very much suggest using I would very much suggest using the oil right about now.
King Kobold is nowhere to be seen, by the way. He's just so far in the back right now. Oldman, what would you like to do? It is your turn. You see 5 winged kobolds in the air. You see 1 kobold still on the back of the lizard with Astraea, and you see the canoe of death coming toward you.
And the canoe is being pulled by
a lizard.
And not piloted.
No, not piloted at all. It's just running straight. The race is a straight shot.
Is it still on fire?
Yeah, it's still on fire. It looks like it could explode literally at any second.
Please lead it away or make it slip or something, Oldman. I do not feel like picking up the pieces right now. Of my body, I mean, or yours.
What's the play, Oldman?
Well, if I were to use a mountain, how is the cart strapped to the lizard?
Just leather straps. Actually, it's not even leather. It's probably rope because it's a canoe that's been tied to a lizard. What would you like to do?
Well, I suppose is it right behind us?
Yeah, it's about 10 feet behind you. This lizard's running real fast. Oh, I guess he doesn't run upright. Yeah, he's running upright. He's one of those weird, like, upright two-legged lizards that runs. He looks real cool, but it's terrifying.
Usain Bolt of the lizard world.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a big frilled neck.
He looks more terrified of us than he is than.
Yeah, he's not a happy lizard.
Well, I suppose that I'm going to dump out the oil and try to slip it up.
Okay, so you just pour the oil out into the ground. It covers all over the salt flat.
So your plan is to douse the burning canoe in oil.
Exactly! As long as it blows up back there, we'll be fine!
Nothing can go wrong with this
Oil
plan.
makes things slip, including lizards.
Okay, so I'm gonna roll a dexterity saving throw for this lizard. He's got to roll, I think he's got a DC 15 on this, because this is some slippery oil, and there's a lot of it. So he fails. He just kind of slips, he's running on his 2 legs, and kind of flips around, and you can see everything kind of come out of the canoe and land harmlessly in the oil. And then the canoe lands in the oil again. And the fire just spreads immediately out on everything. But you're moving so quickly from your geckos, you're already 60 feet away as the oil you see in the background and fades into darkness just immolates and ignites, and there's a huge explosion.
I'm sorry, lizard!
Yeah, you vaguely see like a flaming lizard run around for a little while, and then kind of you stop seeing it.
Did it do any damage to the other?
The other lizard? No, 'cause it was
Contestants?
still running. Oh, the big wagon with all the rocks? Yeah, it probably trashed that. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Oldman?
No, I say my prayers for the poor lizard.
Okay. Astraea, what would you like to do?
How many rider kobolds are close to our wagon?
It's just the one. This guy, the one that you're fighting right now, seemed to be like kind of their raid leader. The other rider kobolds were just normal kobolds. This guy's like, he's strong. He actually has like dragon scale instead of just crappy kobold scales. Yeah, he's actually like kind of menacing for a kobold. Don't get me wrong. this kobold.
Alright, in that case, since he's the only one, I'm just gonna whack him again with the war pick. Cry out 4 as I try to, whack him right off of the
lizard.
giant lizard. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Trying to take control of the beast.
Alrighty, that's gonna... Yeah, that'll hit him because he can't use his shield.
Nice.
You kabam! Slam it inside of him for another 13 points of damage. I'm gonna roll a strength save to see if he falls off. He does, as he kind of topples off the side. And you can see him kind of get caught up a little bit on his strap of leather. He's just kind of getting dragged by the lizard, which starts to veer off toward your cart because of the way he fell.
Oh dear. Can I take the reins?
Yeah, if you want, you could. Though
I'll
his
try.
weight's kind of holding on to them is a problem. He's caught by the reins to the lizard. You could jump over to your cart if you wanted, or you could just cut the reins and try and manually control the lizard.
Yeah, that sounds better. I'll take out one of my hand axes and...
Yeah, you chop it down. He kind of gets caught and bounced around, and he slams into the side of your wagon and gets chopped to pieces by the wheel swords. And yeah, you're easily able to gain control of this lizard. They're very well trained mounts. You are now on a lizard mount, Astraea. Would you like to move at all, or are you just gonna keep?
Yeah, I'll move on a parallel course with the wagon, keeping an eye out for any other, what do you call them?
Kobolds.
Sportsmen?
Yeah,
Racers?
any more contestants?
Yeah, contest.
Awesome. Sarah, it's your turn. You can see there are 5 winged kobolds back in the air at this point. They're the only ones that's left of the wagon. Actually, one of them burns to death. There are 4. I lied. There are 4 winged kobolds left. 3 of them were the 3 that attacked you last time, and they've gone back, and they're coming back with more rocks. And one of them is a new one that's carrying another kobold in his hands. The 3 winged that attacked you are all bunched up kind of in the sky. What would you like to do?
Are there any other contestants at this point?
That you can see? I think that's actually it right now. You don't see anyone else right now. It seems they're all gone.
I wonder why.
Huh.
They're just way in the distance. Like you see a couple specks.
Behind us.
Yeah, way in the distance.
Okay. I'm going to chill touch the flying kobold that's carrying another kobold. So both of them are going to take this.
Awesome. Go ahead and give it to me. That'll definitely hit. Oh.
Yeah, it will. Okay, so they both take 6.
Let's see how they do. All right, so 6 points. So that'll kill him. And yep. So they both die. Your flaming claw streaks through the air and just reaves both of the kobolds as they collapse and fall completely out of the sky. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I mean, I'd like to describe it as 2 skeletal hands come out of nowhere on fire and choke slam them.
Oh god, okay, just bam, slam them down to the salt flat below. Yeah, I super dig it. They're dead.
I'll keep remaining prone.
You just keep lying on the ground. Dustu, what would you like to do?
All right. You know that Molotov cocktail on the mounted turret? Well, I think that's going to work again. I believe.
Try it again. Okay.
But on the 2 that were flying ones that are close together.
Okay.
So hopefully it splashes on them both.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and just give me another one of those attacks? You have a +4, and then it's going to be again disadvantaged because of the.
But that's fine.
The Molotov.
Because you know why?
Oh,
it hits.
Shit. Yeah, it does. All right, we're going to see how well you do. So you hit one of the winged kobolds, and yeah, you're going to hit all 3 of them actually.
You mean 2 of them? Because 3 of them, the other 2 are dead.
I think there were.
You said there were
3
4.
still.
5. There were 5. One of them burned to death, and then Switch just killed one of them. So there are 3 left.
Wasn't it 2 because they were the one carrying the other one?
No, I wasn't counting the one being carried. Regardless, you hit them all, and I think they're all gonna die. You want me to 2d6 and they light on fire?
Here!
Oh my goodness, the roll actually was bad for the first time ever. Oh, it's okay. Only one of them lives because they have terrible hit points. They still die. Two of them still burn to death. And is that the end of your turn, Dustu?
I suppose I'll use my movement to steer again.
Cool. You can see, Dustu, as you use your movement to steer up ahead, you see large black cliff edges kind of rising up on the sides in the distance as you start riding forward, into what looks like just kind of a canyon, the steep black cliffs on either side, and you see that they're black because they're literally dripping oil, and a thin sheen of oil kind of covers the ground in this canyon, giving it
It's a very good thing we used most of our fire back there, because it would not be good up here.
And yeah, as you rush ahead, one remaining winged kobold flies over, and he's gonna drop a rock on. He could drop a rock on you. You just burned his two friends. Take this, Dustu. Get rocked.
Ow. That hurt. That hurt a lot. But I'm fine. Don't worry about it.
Man, that was stone cold.
God.
However, at this point, the round ends. Oldman, it's your turn. The only kobold you see remaining right now is the flying kobold.
Who was burning?
He's on fire, actually.
First, Oldman is going to lean over the guard, take some of the blood from the ground up kobold, and put it down.
It's caught on the wheel as it's just spinning with the cart. Oh god.
Make sure to put it in his sketchbook, and then he's going to sketch a burning flying kobold.
Yeah, you can tell there's literally no way. I'm sorry, there is a 1 in 6 chance that this kobold doesn't burn to death at the start of his next turn. So you're just sketching and watching this screaming, flaming kobold. Just, oh god! Astraea, would you like to do anything? You have controlled your lizard mount, asserted your dominance. Well, Astraea, do you want to steal this kobold kill, or are you just gonna ride along for now?
No, I won't steal it.
Okay. You'll let Sarah kill him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a loud bell sound rings out, and then an explosion of fire consumes this kobold.
Excellent. The kobold just explodes, even though he was already on fire. And as you ride along, it is dark. It is dark. It is the dark of night. As you continue along this race, you pass by every 1,000 feet or so the set of poles that show that you're on the right path.
And guess light.
As you approach this you guess light so you can see. And even then, the moonlight and the stars are very bright, so it's dim light still. I said dark. It's not that dark. But as you enter this canyon gulch, you can see the black oil kind of dripping down the sides of the canyon, and you hear the splashing of your lizard's feet as they're running still, but through a very, very thin kind of covering of oil all over the ground.
Now would be a good time to dump those ball bearings.
It's been probably 2 minutes of racing, and you haven't seen a single kobold.
Sounds.
You defeated that last guy. And as the gulch kind of turns, you can see up ahead the large kind of sign, the winner sign, right? You go through there and you're good. Maybe 1,000 feet away. Just do you dump the ball bearings off the side?
Just in case.
Okay. And as you turn and you see this, in the distance, you see a small spark of red. It's barely visible behind you. But it becomes brighter and larger. Brighter and larger. And you can see, oh great King Kobold, large as he is, atop his single-wheeled wheelbarrow, rocketing towards you, a massive barrel strapped to the back, and a huge cone of fire shooting out. The 30-some-odd kobolds that were pulling his wagon before have jumped up just onto his stomach and are cheering, "Go, Great King Kobold!"
I told you guys it would have worked.
He rockets.
That's what I was saying too. do, but no.
He rockets after you very quickly, gaining the distance as he hits the oil flats that you are now in of the Blackstone Gulch. They ignite behind him, leaving just a massive spreading trail of flame behind you. Knowing if you can't stop him, he will be consumed by these flames within the Blackstone Gulch.
How far away is he?
He is a round away from getting to you. I think you're on ready to actions because he's like 500 feet, but he is going so fast.
I would like to jump off my lizard that is now a death trap and onto the King Kobold cart.
All right, so Astraea, you're gonna, well, he's too far away right now, but basically you're readying your action to leap onto his cart, and what are you gonna do, attack him?
When he passes by, I just want to leap on and I would like to attack the barrel that is his engine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's on a wheelbarrow, like a single-wheeled thing. He's like on a unicycle wagon with this big barrel of fire on the back. So you can attack the barrel.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we got Astraea's move. Oldman, what do you want to do? He's still so far away, but you know he'll be approaching very quickly.
When he gets close enough, I will try to charm him.
with what spell?
Charm person. Maybe I can convince him to lose the race for us.
Okay. Sarah, what's your plan?
Now, I had a special request that the hay be left on the cart.
The hay's on the cart.
I have rigged up this rope underneath all of these hay bales so that they can all be loosed from the back of the cart very quickly.
Okay.
So
I have a thing.
So I'm going to dump a ton of hay behind us.
Okay.
Just a wall of hay.
Excellent. You're going to cast the spell Wall of Hay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But I imagine before the wall
does work with the Wall of Hay?
Pardon?
Does the Amulet of the Inferno work with the spell Wall of Hay?
No, it doesn't, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, weird interaction. Sorry, Dustu, what would you like to ready?
Before the wall is out, you know that large bola that we haven't used yet?
Yep.
I'm gonna use that with the turret, and if I don't get a 20, regardless of what other number I get, I'm using Guided Strike.
And what are you aiming for?
I'm aiming for Big Daddy Kobold.
Oh, the King Kobold himself.
Yes, but more so for the barrel to see if I can't weigh it down to where he just crashes.
Are you aiming for the barrel, which is the source of his propulsion, him, or his wheel?
Well, the wheel wouldn't do anything if he's flying like that. I imagine it would be the barrel.
Okay, you're
to weigh it down.
Cool. So that'll definitely help Astraea. All right. So as he's rocketing forward, you can see that they've attached a small catapult to it, and they fire, and a single kobold flying in the air, and he lands on your wagon. And none of you have ready to action to deal with this. You all have other actions. And he looks up to you all, and he says, "Oh, please let us win, please!" As he begins to grovel, cower, and beg.
Is he inside of the hay?
He lands on the hay, yeah. But he grovel, cowers, and begs. Please, we need this win so bad! King Kobold is so good! And he's just so pathetic that you're all somewhat distracted from it.
I would like to use my Fey Ancestry racial.
I don't think that affects this ability.
He's
You're
trying
not being
to charm me, right?
No, he's not. He's distracting you
Hold on.
with his pity. I know this doesn't affect. This is not a magical ability. He's actually that pitiful. The other kobolds rocket forward. King Kobold's on his way. We have a huge number of slingshots coming at you guys from long range, but it's advantaged because of the power. Except, actually, Astraea, you weren't close enough to be. You were on the lizard, right? Or you jumped off the lizard, didn't you? Oh no, you were ready to jump off the lizard. So you're good. You're not coward. You're not distracted. So I said there were 30 of them, and there are 4 of you. So each of you are going to get 7, and then 2 just are totally off.
And I'm still prone.
Yes. So Oldman, what is your armor class?
10.
All right. Oh God. So they need to get a 6 or higher here. All right. They all hit you.
Actually, can I use a shield?
You absolutely can.
I will use shield.
Okay, that means that 3 of them they're gonna miss. There are only gonna be 3 that hit you. And Astraea. Actually, Oldman, if you shield, you won't be able to do your ready to action. Are you okay with that? Your ready to action happens anyway. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, you shield. You don't die. Astraea, we have 7 coming at you. What's your armor class? Astraea? Well, I'll do the damage for you.
Oh, sorry, 18.
So, Oldman, you're going to take 10 points of damage. Ow, not bad at all. So they need to get a 14 or higher to hit you, Astraea. So 2 of them are going to hit you, but 1 of them's a crit. So you're going to take a total of 10 points of damage.
These are ranged attacks, right?
They are.
Ouch.
Yep. As they're slinging rocks at you from their wagon as they're flying up. Sarah, your armor class is what?
18.
18, so we're also in at 14. And then, okay, so now I'm going to re-roll those 2 to account for their disadvantage. Oh, no, they have advantage, though, because you're distracted.
Yeah,
so it's still 2.
He's also...
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's only going to be 8 points. And then Dustu, you're what?
19.
19. Oh, they need a higher one to get you. 4 and 2.
Are you kidding me?
And
I'm pretty sure no matter what, I'm out cold because I only have 2 HP.
Oh, damn. All right, so it looks like 6 of the 7 are going to hit you, Dustu. Dustu, I think you're going to die no matter what from this barrage.
I mean,
because
that depends on how much damage it does.
No, because failed death saving throws. You're going to die.
Oh, right.
That being said, your ready to action still goes off because you're still ready. This is as it's all happening. So, as
my sacrifice will not be in vain!
a barrage of arrows come flying forward, or not arrows, rocks, and Dustu just bam, 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 slammed all above. You got hit on the head with rocks so much. And in your last action, you take aim with the crossbow, dazed as you are, and fire. Can you go ahead and give me your attack?
But it also has plus 10, so it's a 30.
Advantage.
Oh, well, let me just roll again then.
So
it's going to be an 18.
You will still hit the back, the big barrel. It kind of gets wrapped up on it and dislodges it slightly, but it does not have quite as much oomph as you were maybe hoping. It's definitely going to be harder for them to steer, though, at the very least. You bought yourselves around. As Dustu, you just get rocked to death and collapse, and I guess you land on the hay.
You just rocked his world.
Use my body!
Sarah, your turn. You throw the hay bales off, pulling on your rope, and your contraption goes.
That includes Dustu and the Kobold's body, because they're in the hay, right?
I'm 6 foot, 350 pounds.
Big rock.
I'm a big rock.
There's no need to roll for the wall of hay. Your wall of hay collapses onto the ground in front of them. And the kobold just like, he kind of gets caught up in all the hay. Astraea, you doubled back to leap onto the wagon and try and sabotage it. So
yes.
You ride back. Can you roll me just a basic athletics check? I think it's a DC 10 to jump on. Alrighty,
perfect.
10.
Perfect. You leap, and it's going so fast, and you catch the rope. The kobolds all think you got pulled by, and you feel the white hot fire of the jet booster, rearing past you, but you pull yourself up, and you're on the back of the wagon, the kobolds seemingly not knowing. Go ahead and make your attack that's what your plan was, right? To attack it?
Yes, I'm going to wedge the pick end of the war pick, the thing that looks like a pickaxe, and I'm going to try to pierce open the barrel and...
Yeah, it's severely damaged already from Dustu.
Yeah.
So it's going to be way easier for you. Alrighty. See, I think the way this is going to work is because of Dustu's thing, I'm going to let this just automatically crit. So can you just roll me another D8?
Oh, sure.
As you spear your war pick in, and let's see what happens.
Roll that D8. Are you good?
You want me to roll the 8 for you?
No, I got it. I'm
Oh,
just
damn.
adding my strength stuff.
Yeah, so...
Oh, sorry, not +2, so...
That's fine. You swing it in, and it pierces aside.
Oh,
and
no,
you
it is
see
+2.
the entire barrel on the back begins to, like, break apart and expand. How are you going to get off of this? Your lizard has burned to a crisp behind it.
Is Dustu's body near me?
You see it getting... It's approaching very quickly, yeah. You see this dead turtle just on its
Is
back.
his shell up or down?
It's down, so the shell part's down.
I would like to surf on Dustu's body.
May my body be useful in the afterlife.
Roll me either an acrobatics check or a dex. Oh, I think it's an acrobatics check to leap off and try and surf it.
Oh god, my acrobatics is 0.
But you can roll a
I got a
19, so it's fine.
So you leap off the back as the back of it just completely erupts. You land on Dustu and begin to surf through this fiery hellscape of burning oil behind. It's absolutely horrifying. And you're going to take some fire damage just from going through it.
Oh yeah, fine.
14, are you still up?
Yep.
Alrighty, so yeah, you come out the other side surfing on Dustu's very burned body. Oh god.
Crispy turtle, anyone?
But alive. So Sarah and Oldman.
Hold on, I believe he has a bonus action he'd like to use.
I don't know. Oldman, what would you like to do?
He doesn't want a second wind.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Second wins at some point.
What's the situation now?
I mean, what was your ready to action again?
Oh, we already passed that.
Oh,
Because
right.
I shielded.
Yes. And Sarah, have we had your ready to action? Yeah, that was a hay. So you see the huge explosion on the back of the King Kobold wagon. You see King Kobold himself get launched forward. And actually just kind of get launched into the sky and disappear with like a slight spark of light.
King Kobold is blasting off again.
I was about to say that.
The other kobolds all just kind of look at each other on this now exploding wagon and like, what? And then they get slammed into by the wall of hay, and the whole wagon, which is awful and off course and exploding, just completely tips over, throwing all of the kobolds into the now burning oil. That is, however, behind you, as Sarah and Oldman, you ride the remainder of the way. Slowly, your lizard's exhausted. Whoop, you go right through the little gate. And there's no one there.
Well, this is a bad officiant.
Yeah, there's no one there. What do you guys do?
They won. Dustu's body with Astraea on it just comes sliding up slowly.
Yeah, like about 5 minutes later, Astraea just comes sliding up on the burnt corpse of Dustu. You can see in the distance there's a huge just pile of fire where the hay bales are and all the little kobolds. You can see they're on the hay bales trying to stay up, but it's not working. All the oil is beginning to ignite. Do you guys just take a breather, take a short rest?
Well, we have 13 bottles of alcohol here.
Yeah, I think we should.
I'm going to shoot a flaming laser into the sky.
Yeah, okay. So you shoot a big laser into the sky.
Flare.
After about half an hour of like taking a quick break and like drinking some liquor and hanging
can
out.
we roll hit dice?
Well, it doesn't matter. You would actually normally. You can see in the distance a big group of people like exhaustedly running. It seems to be the entirety of the town was trying to run to the exit now, to the finish line to greet you, but they were slower than you guys were. Good job! I did. Oh, you beat the kobolds. Yeah.
That's why Bartholomew pays us the big bucks.
The Minotaur walks over. Good work, y'all. Did you win?
Yes,
We committed genocide.
Great work.
I would like a reward for my effort. Can I keep the lizard?
Sure. Yeah. Can I have those bottles? That's been a hell of a run. I've been running for like 45 minutes. My body's not built for this anymore.
Cooked turtle on the ground.
Ooh, a feast! No, I'm kidding. But yes, you share drinks with the village of, or I guess the old town of Green Meadows, and you are each rewarded your 100 Bartholomew bucks and 1 experience point as you have successfully completed this adventure.
I have a gecko.
There's eating some kind of strange meat.
Weird. What could it be?
Back